right. Hi, ladies. Welcome. And I am, first of all, honored and excited to talk today all things systems and automation. And I think the biggest thing that I want to share today is I'm going to walk you guys through kind of like what I use, what my systems look like, what I have recently put in place, because this is something I have really been like focusing on over these past, like I'd even say a few months, because I've recently switched systems. But like why I strongly encourage this to every single one of you. And I think the biggest thing is okay, so I want to take you guys back to probably a year ago in my business. And I felt like I was at a place where I really wanted to scale my business. I really wanted to be at a place where I was hitting higher success club numbers. I was doing more work without like working hard, working smarter, not harder, right? And like realized, I can, oh, I gotta admit people, forget that the admit thing. Realized that like what I wanted to accomplish in this business and where I wanted to truly scale it was not reasonable or easy to do in the DMs. And and also you guys, like I was realizing it wasn't what I enjoyed. If I wanted to hit higher success club numbers, if I wanted to increase my sales, if I wanted to follow up with all of my clients, like it just wasn't, I was getting to this burnout stage. I was getting to a place where can't do it anymore. And I don't think any of us can do it. I don't, even wherever you are in your business, even if you think that automation or systems, you're not at that place, I want you guys to rethink that, because I think everyone is, especially if you are on this call, you're sitting at a diamond coach and you have other people in working this business with you. Now is the time to be implementing these systems. But I wanted to get back to doing things I actually enjoyed in this business, which was creating content, was posting in my boot camps. Like I didn't want to spend my entire day in my DMs to hit higher success numbers or see more of my clients, like especially when it comes to launches. Like that's just not what I saw this business, where I saw it going. And to be honest, I had to really give myself a gut check of if I wanted this to be a big business, if I wanted to scale my business to where I see, Jess and Natasha hitting these huge, crazy, successful success club numbers, that I needed to start doing things that, coaches who were 2 stars, or because at the time I think I was a 1 star, I needed to be doing things that 2 star coaches and 5 star coaches were doing, which was having an actual system and automation. So I finally was like, I'm investing in this, I'm going to make it happen. And even if I sold 2 challenge packs, you guys, like I was like, it's got to at least bring me back my investment. And you guys, it has. So trust me, I'll kind of talk about like how much it costs and things like that. I want to kind of get more in detail of like what this does for me and how it can benefit you guys. Because that was my biggest thing. Like, well, what all does it do? What does it look like? What can it do for me? And then I'll answer any questions you guys have. And if you guys are watching the recording, like please drop the questions in. I know a lot of us are probably watching this recording, so ask the questions in the comments and I will go back through and answer anything, because I like can't stress how important this is of giving back your time in your day. And I will say too, if you are here and you're like, you know what, Jenna, like my business isn't where it should be to have this, I want you to rethink that too, because trust me, we are in a world of crazy social media, and Jennifer can attest to this, where let's say one post goes viral and you get like 5,000 customers, or sorry, new followers, and your DMs start to get flooded. It's a good problem to have, but how the heck are you going to be able to get every single one of these people the information? How are you ever able to follow up with all of these ladies? And also, like, make sure you're checking back in with them. Like, it's just like you can't do it. And I want to stress the importance of setting that up now, because it takes time to create the system. I will say, I just recently switched systems and it's taking me a good month or two. And Jess said that was actually pretty quick. So it takes several months to like get the system in place, get it figured out, like figure out what works for you, and make sure everything is flowing right, like, and find your verbiage. I think that's one thing that I'm working on right now, is trying to figure out the verbiage and the language of my emails that speaks to my people. um but also, like, nobody's falling through the cracks anymore. I think that's the biggest thing too, is now even like following up with webinars and coaching sneak peeks, like nobody's falling through the cracks because they're in my system. It's an actual like follow-up system that works, and you guys, from a touch of a button, it does it all for me. Okay, so let me check. I know you guys are, sorry, I was okay, so Tessa, it's not automated, but I use email. Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of talk about like what all my system does for me and how it's been able to help me. So number one thing is automated emails, you guys. Like hands down. So every time someone fills out one of my forms, or they request information, I get them into my system, and then it sends them an initial email. So the initial information about my boot camps, there's a link all the way to even pricing. So I no longer have to like have those conversations in my DMs. I will say I'm still working at getting it to flow, getting it to work, because we all know the hard part is it's not the first time that people sign up right away, right? So I'm hoping like 6 months, again, this is where I'm saying like start now, because 6 months down the road, that's when my system's going to actually work, because all these people I'm getting information to now, they're not going to sign up right now, right? It's chances are it's going to be them following my social media, watching me for a while, and then saying, yes, I'm in. So, the goal is here in the next few months down the road is to when this is actually going to start really picking up. But as so it's all automated. So I have a series of email that goes out to each of these people who request information. So after a day or so, I have a follow-up email go out. You guys don't have to touch a single DM. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. Like, I know these people are getting followed up because my emails are all set in place. It's such a fresh breath of air to know that my business is working for me, and I'm not having to push all the buttons. I'm not having to be the ones in the DMs. I'm not spending my time where I could be finding new people to be getting information to, or creating content, or doing things I enjoy. That these emails are getting to these people because it's all set up. So I have like several emails. And also, you guys, we all know our follow-ups are like, hey, just checking back in, or hey, like, it's just a generic message, where these automated messages can be as simple as like, hey, just checking in, or it can be as simple, or it can be as big as like a value added email back. So I pretty much like I followed what Jess does, and another one, and it has transformation photos inside these follow-up emails, where they're saying, giving them motivation to why they need to do this with me. So not only are you following up with them, you're also providing more value and motivation to get them to join. So I have it all set up for boot camps. I also, you guys, this has been like game changing, this for coaching, is I actually have an automated follow-up system for coaching webinars. So as soon as we have the webinar that ends, I'm able to send it out to every single person who's ever inquired about coaching, which I know for me, I was not very good at tracking those people. I did use Streak, but I just felt like people were missed. And when you have to just send a button, push a button, like, you don't think twice about reinviting them. You don't think twice about like sending them the recording again. Like, it's just kind of like they're on my list. They're going to be continued to follow up about coaching for as long as, until they tell me to take me off. So that has been something else that's been very, very helpful. And then obviously, this system provides just more of a professional look. I actually have landing pages where people can, and I don't have a website. I know Jess has a website. I think Natasha does, but I don't have a website. But these landing pages take them to places where they can see, you know, a little bit about me. It gives them a little bit of a background about my story. It looks professional. They can click on certain buttons and get more information. They can also get pricing right then and there. I'm someone who just give me the information. I'll look through it. Like I don't, you know, I don't really need to have the long conversation. I just want to know the price, get to the point, and figure out if it's for me or not. So I like how if someone just wants that information right away, they can click, find out the pricing information, and they don't have to wait for my spiel or whatever. I also send out now weekly newsletters. So I'm a lot more intentional about sending actual newsletters of motivation or recipes to my current clients. And I know more than anything, like this is what's going to set me up for launches. This is what's going to set me up for, I mean, I exported my entire lead and contact list in my back office, and all of them get emails from me. All of them get this information. They all know about the next new programs coming out. And so being able to get them this information without being in the DMs again and following up with every single client. I mean, we've all been there for launches, how crazy that is. And you always miss people. So this is just in my mind, it's a professional way to run this business. And it's just taken so much time off of my plate to actually be able to do the things that I love, which is not DMs. So, yeah, Jennifer says it's finally, so Jennifer has recently switched to automation. She was one who out of nowhere, her Instagram has blown up and she's getting lots of messages. So now that she has an automation system without having to each individual person send all of this to, and then actually having follow-ups is huge. And yes, it's converting. So for the fall, so Tessa says, yes, I use Streak, but for the follow-ups, it's so tedious and time consuming. I use, is it Aweber for newsletters? Okay, cool. Okay, so I use Constant Contact. Jennifer has a different one than me. And we were kind of sharing before we pushed record, but the reason I found Constant Contact when I was using a previous system and it was just not very user friendly, especially for someone who doesn't know systems. Like it was overwhelming, and it was really like creating landing pages, like just was like, I can't do any of this. And I was actually having someone help me with it at the time and was spending a lot of money on having him create things. So within the past few months, looked into a new system. I found Constant Contact, and like, is it Aweber? Very, very, like, if you have never used a system before, like this is the most user-friendly system I've ever, like it was so quick for me to be able to figure it out and I didn't need anybody to help me like import contacts and start creating landing pages and start creating forms. Like it takes time. So don't get me wrong. It takes time to get everything set up and figure out like what you want everything to consist of. I just day by day would pick something different to work on. But the system has, and they also have a free consultation to help you set it up. So if you can't figure out, actually the importing wasn't too hard. It was kind of just figuring out how things worked. You guys, I'm here too. If you guys need my help, like I'm happy to answer questions or help you or whatever, but they have a lot, like all the time they have. The other thing I love about Constant Contact is they have free webinars all the time, actually how to grow your following, how to increase your growth to get to more they call them subscribers. So it's just so much help on the back end of this company that I'm working with now. And they'll even sit on a consultation and like walk you through how to get everything set up. So like if you're worried about how to even get started, like just go sign up for it right now. And I promise you, they will help you get started, and you'll be so grateful that you'll just it feels good to have a system. Okay. Do you guys want me to show you what it looks like? And I'll kind of take you guys through. And then if you guys have any questions, like feel free to ask, because I was always so curious. There we go. Okay, so this is Constant Contact. Right away when you sign in, let me make sure my internet's working here. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to show you guys around first things first, and then we can kind of get into what my forms actually look like, and like how I can kind of also, the cool thing is like you can segregate like what goes to what. So it kind of it puts your contacts into different lists. So let's say if you want to send like coaching specific emails, or maybe even like specific emails to just your downline or your PS coaches, you can kind of create a list for them. So this is my contacts. Come on, come on. I think it's slower when you're on Zoom. Okay, so here's my contacts. And again, I have them in different lists. So I have all of my Fit Club in one list. I have, this is pretty much like, since I was using a prior system, I just uploaded everyone in the same, but I'm trying to segregate like actual clients who are in my club to, this is just like my entire back office of like leads and free trials and things like that. So this is probably where a lot of my bulk emails go to. And also they're in multiple lists. So like the cool thing is even though they're in my Fit Club in this list, like they're still in this list. So you can have them in multiple lists, or you can tag them in multiple lists. But this is pretty much where I'll send all of my follow-ups for my boot camps. This is where all of my weekly newsletters go. And then I have one for potential coaches. So these are my, again, like, see, I wish I would have done a better job of adding people who are interested in coaching. That list is hopefully going to grow. And then I need to get all of my PS coaches in here. But basically it's cool because you can separate them based off of like what type of email you're going to send them or whatever information that you want to send. And again, that's how it's like segmented so that when you're actually going through and sending specific information, it goes to the right people. The cool thing is you guys actually get a lot of statistics back on things. So let's go to campaigns. So campaigns is basically, let's say this is basically where everything's created. This is where newsletters are created. This is where my landing pages are created. This is where my automation email series are created. Every week I'm trying to do a newsletter. So like this one was sent the other day. And the cool thing is, you guys, is you actually get the stats of like how many people have opened it, which goes to show like not everyone's going to open your emails. How many people clicked on it? This is bounces. So I need to clean up these because I'm just now starting to get them sent, or who's unsubscribing. But I'm going to go into this as particular email and oh, you can't see it. Or I guess you can preview it. But so here was a little bit of motivation that I sent on, I think it was Tuesday, with transformation. And just, so this is basically going to go to anybody who has ever asked for information. It's my current clients and anybody who's like a 3-month trial or BOD trials. But basically it's just giving them a little bit of information or a little bit of motivation. And then they can click here to join me. And again, it's kind of a follow-up, but yet, you know, kind of pop it into their inbox, just saying, hello, here, I'm trying to motivate you to come join me. I will show you guys automation. Okay, so these are my email series. So here is my Fit Club email series. We'll click here. And the cool thing too is, you guys, is like you can, let's say you can have a month's worth of Monday motivation scheduled to go out on a certain time on a Monday, you know? So if you don't want to every Monday come into your system and send a new email or a new newsletter, totally have that scheduled out for the month. So I like how you can schedule things ahead of time. Same thing with sneak peeks. So like we have our sneak peek on Friday. So I'll come in here and have all of my follow-ups scheduled so that it's all ready to go. And I'm pretty much after Friday, don't have to do much. Okay, so this is my, so it's an email of series that I've created. So here's the first one that goes out with all of my information. Then you can create like wait a day. So this email follow-up goes out the next day, basically says, hey, just checking back, seeing if you actually got my email, just want to pop back in here. And I'm curious, like, have you guys ever put something in a cart and then you don't purchase it and you get those emails and you're like, hey, just checking in with you? That's pretty much like, you want them to feel like they're a little personable, but also at the same time, they're probably going to be, you know, generic so that it goes to everyone. Then this one is sent 4 days later and then 6 days later. So imagine having a series of 4 emails that take care of your business for you and you never have to check back in. I will say something that I do still do is if I still don't hear back from them, since my system is so new, I am still getting back into my DMs. Just seeing if they got my email, because sometimes emails can go to spam. I know we all have been there where even I know Jess's will go to my spam sometimes. So sometimes I am back in my inbox just saying, hey, but I'm trying to direct them back to my emails because again, I want the sale to happen in my emails. I'm trying to get emails to work. And if we constantly bring them back to our DMs, it teaches them that. So I am really working at keeping them in the email and working with them and answering any questions there, because these emails will be, if they reply to any of them, it actually goes to my coaching email. So I am every day going in there checking to see if anybody has responded to these emails. Okay. And then let's see if there's any other of them I can show you guys. I can kind of share price and things like that. And then I can answer questions too. Let's go back to, okay, so, and also something else that I recently started doing was my prep week email series. So that one's really nice as well, because I'm now getting them started in emails versus my boot camp so that they can join at any time. And then also here is I was going to show you guys also my form. So this is pretty much like what my information form looks like. So again, I wanted this to be a little more professional for them to get information. And as soon as they fill this out, it actually it's tagged them onto a list. So you guys imagine how easy it is now to have a swipe, or it's no longer a swipe up, but have like, you post a story, you drop your link, and then everyone's filling out that form. You don't have to touch it from there. Like pretty much from the form, it sends them to it tags them in the correct list, sends them that very first information form, and then it sends them this email series. So from the form, from my swipe up or my filling out my link, which we all have, that is pretty much automated from there. So same thing goes with coaching. Okay, so stop share. Okay, do you guys have any questions so far? I will also say that Constant Contact is doing a promo code right now where you get to try it for free for a month. So FYI, I saw it was like it was actually like refer a friend and get a credit. So we actually both get the credit instead of just me. So if you guys want to try Constant Contact, that's an awesome thing to be able to take advantage of. And he did the same thing for me. Right now, I think they're giving you the credit right away. For me, he told me, hey, try it for 30 months. If you absolutely don't like it, because I tried the free trial. And he was like, hey, if you absolutely don't like it, you can totally get your money back in a month. So I was like, oh, that's why I was like, okay, done, I'm doing it. I'm just going to make it happen. And I ended up falling in love with how easy Constant Contact is. It's so easy to make the campaigns. And once you have your forms and your landing pages all set up, really there wasn't much to do from there. And now it's pretty much just running. And now it's me working on getting new people into my DMs so that I can get as many people information. And I know everything's working on the back end for me.
Jenna, do you have to put your address or an address in?
So I am using my last, so I'm using my last assistant still his address. I should probably take that out.
Oh,
I was told that you should use like your accountant, right? Isn't that what Jess said? Like your accountant, or like obviously not your own physical address.
yeah, I
But
have like a really old address on there, but
oh,
which makes me feel bad because I'm sure somebody lives there now.
but like, I mean, I think it's for, isn't it just for legalities or whatever?
Yeah,
Like,
but it's on the bottom of all of your emails.
yeah, yeah.
It creeps me out.
I know. Well, so don't ever put your physical address.
Yeah.
You guys have any questions? Okay, yeah. What systems do you guys currently use? MailChimp? Okay. Does that one, I can't remember if MailChimp. And I'll say something that so I still am trying to keep my streak going. That's really where like my coaching, I've tried to keep it for like a coaching pipeline. And also like sending share cards, keeping it for like a pipeline of share cards going out to make sure I'm following up with them, because there are times where like like my current system's really current, like, or brand new, like brand new people, or so I've like tried to started using back my streak for following up with like just tedious little loose ends of things, because this is going to go to the mass versus really following up with people. And I find when you're a little bit more less robotic sounding, it's a little like, hey, how you doing, happy Sunday, or then it's a little more genuine and they feel like it's coming from you. So there are things I've kind of taken off automation of some other follow-ups, but for the most part, like anybody who ever inquires about my stuff, I give them, or I sign them up for my systems now. Is there anything else you guys want me to show you in my system? I'm gonna walk through, let's see, anything else that I can share. So I'll show you guys too my, I think the other part that's cool is, here we go. So this is my landing page, if you guys kind of want to see what that looks like. But pretty much it kind of shares, so it's a professional way to share, more information, get them to share about my journey a little bit, told them a little bit about myself, some client testimonies that I added below. And then basically everything that they're clicking is going to lead them to another link that's going to get them the pricing or get them more information. So a lot of times I'll use this, or this is, I think, is what's actually sitting on my link tree right now, so that they come to this page and then it directs them to filling out a form to sign up and go on my actual list. And then from that email, which I'll show you, looks like, let's go to campaigns. Find my actual email, Fit Club email. Yeah, so it's this one. I don't know if it'll let me open it. And this is kind of where I feel like I've really had to like play around with it, because think it does take the right verbiage. Oh, and it's not going to let me edit it or look at it because it's a automation. But this is where I'm saying like start. Oh, here, preview. This is where I'm saying start now, because I feel like it is take time to figure out, okay, what's going to attract them to this. You know, do DMs work a lot better? Probably. I mean, it's someone being able to really have a deep conversation. You know, you're able to ask the questions, right? Like, hey, what do you struggle with? You know, like really get to learn about them. And I think that was a hard thing that I had a hard time like shifting away from, was really getting to figure out the root cause of what they're looking for, share in a voice memo, they can hear my voice, how, you know, why this is for them, and then get them the pricing and like go through that entire conversation. But I don't know about you guys, but like that takes a long freaking time. And if I had like 50 DMs of people wanting information, trying to give them all of that information in the DMs is freaking exhausting. I wish you could like copy send voice memos like Facebook and like forward them, because I will say I got to a point where I was exhausted sending individual voice memos to every single person. So I will say like trying to find my right wording has been the hard part of this. And so what would I be sharing in those voice memos that I could be sharing here to help them with wanting, like getting them the information that I like to share with people. So trying to figure all that out, but this might be the wrong one, but this is pretty much, you know, what it looks like. It's just more information about my group, how to get started, and then it'll take them at the bottom of it. I'm actually able to have a link to the pricing. So I'll show you guys that one. And I saved that up here. I thought I did. Let's go pricing. Here we go. And a lot of this I have mimicked from Jess. But so again, you know, package options. Like I don't even have to like voice memo any of this, and how much of a breath of fresh air it is to not have to share all this. So choose your package. It has the entire package, and then it's preferred member or coach want to join. So again, it just takes people all the way through to where then I have a submitted form of sign me up for this link. The only thing that I now need to do is go into my email and send them an actual share cart link. So that, yeah, so it's literally like the only things I needed to do was add my link in my stories. They fill that out and get all the information, and I send them the share card. Is the only part that's on, or the only part that's on me. So it's just crazy how much I've simplified it and been able to, it feels so good to have this now and know that I don't ever have to follow up. I don't have to do all the things. I don't have to voice memo them like 6 different times of what this is about. Like they get the information and it's there for them. So same thing goes for coaching. All right, I'm just gonna ask, how do you still keep it personalized? Yeah. So I mean, I think that's been the transition I'm trying to figure out right now. Because don't get me wrong, like my forms aren't like blowing up, or my pricing form. Again, like this isn't all blowing up for me either. It's now, how is this working for me? And getting my mindset shifted from being in the DMs, treating this business like a professional business, and being out of the DMs and actually selling them the package through email, or, you know, through my website, or my landing page. Because I think that's been the shift, is now it's talking to my clients, telling them, email me if you want to join me in my next group. It's not, don't DM me. Like right now I want my clients coming to me for email, not in my DMs, because when the hope is like my Instagram will be like Jess's or Natasha's one day where I can't keep up with DMs and I'll miss your DM if you try to ask me about boot camp information in my DMs. I want it in the email. And so trying to train my clients that right now has been like the transition, and then also trying to keep it personalized where I'm following up still with them, even if it's even if they're getting all these automated emails and it's, they're still, but then again, I also have it in my mind that, this isn't going to work right away because these are all people just getting the information. This is going to take months of them being on my email list or months of them watching my stories, like this system is going to take time to build and create and really figure out what works for me.
So when you're talking about like stories and stuff and you throw a link in one of your stories, what are you linking to? Are you linking to like your email? Are you linking to a link tree? Are you linking to a form? What are you sending people to right from your stories?
Yep. So it's that, let me go back. So the very first thing that I link in my stories is this. So
Okay.
It's request more information for my group. So just like a Google form. So from here, they will, as soon as they fill this out, again, instead of having to like go put it in a streak, their information, it automatically goes into my system. It tags them into that potential client list, and then sends them that first email of the information. So again, it's all taken care for you. I don't have to do a single thing once I link it in my stories. And then from there, they'll get the automated emails. And from there, they can also have that link to click on to get pricing and all the information that they need. So pretty much it's just all taken care of for you. And you're not, I know for me, when I was using Google Forms, I was spending a lot of time importing contacts into Google or to Streak, and then trying to send out the information. Or even when it came to boot campers, now it's fill out my Fit Club registration form. They go straight to that link and they get my welcome email, and it's all automated now, where I really don't spend a lot of time on my computer, and it's more, okay, let's create content, or let's get this to more people. Let's invite more people so that I can spend more time starting conversations. Yeah.
I was gonna say, so you don't even talk to a person until they sign up, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the goal. And I mean, think of that's Natasha and Jess. And like same thing goes for coaching. Like literally, they fill out the form, they get the coaching information, and you don't do anything.
Why is someone close?
So yeah, that was when I was like, I need this.
Yeah, because I spend half my day just having those
Yeah.
not blah, but those conversations of back and forth, or what's your question, blah, blah, blah. It's like, just
And I mean,
pick which one or get out.
yeah. And I think that's the hard thing is like, it does take time to like figure out your wording and your language. Again, just, I mean, DMs are a lot, I will say, like, obviously DMs are the most effective because you can be right there answering all their questions, but I am to a point where I don't want to be doing that anymore. I don't want to have to be giving all the information in the DMs. I want to be at a place where they get the information when they need it. I will say I started to, like, as soon as they give me their email and they fill out the form, I message them back and say, okay, go look for my email. Here's the email. This is where to look for it, so that I'm really directing them to go look at email. Because again, you're taking them from DMs to emails, which is chances of them like kind of get distracted is easy. So I right away am like back in that DM saying, go check your email now, because you'll have an email come to you, so you can go look there.
And then basically any customers, like the conversation then is in your Fit Club as far as questions or needing anything.
Yeah.
Just hard, because then you don't know the person necessarily, because I feel like once you have those 4 billion DMs with somebody, what they got coming in, what their goals are, how many, like their kids, mom life, So basically then you just get to know them in the Fit Club.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was like, wow, like it's as simple as linking something and the system works for you.
And just the short time you've done it, has it brought in like the right people that you want, or have you gotten like, you know who you're gonna attract to your Fit Club type of thing? Has it brought the people in you want, or are you getting like people who have unrealistic expectations type of thing? Or
No, I mean, so far, I mean, the people who have actually like gone all the way through and I sold the challenge pack through it seem to be like, I'm still working on the social media side of things and making sure I'm attracting my people. And I mean, they know like, I'm doing 80-day obsession, right? Like my hope is my followers know, hey, this is my type of, this is who I am. This is who my typical people are. I mean, I don't think I'm I'm still attracting my people through my social media, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Nope. I was just curious. I didn't know if
I will
like
say
you want that personal connection. So it was getting people.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing right now is
invited you anyway.
I just started really being consistent with the newsletters. So now making sure I'm talking about it in it's you need to teach your followers on how to contact you. You see people. I know Amy Bailey's always good about this. She's always like, if you want to contact me, here's my email, like directing people where they need to talk to you. And that's been, I think, my, trying, because I get so anxious to like go back into DMs and follow up with all these people now. And I'm like, hold up, Jenna, like your email, let your emails work for you, and I'm trying to be patient because I am, again, this is where I'm like, start now, because I am still like, I'm 2 months into this now and I'm still trying to figure out what works for me. Do I need to be back? Like, I've learned I need to direct them. Go look at your email. Here, this is where you can add me to your contact list so you'll get future emails. Talk about my newsletters and my stories. Tell them, that they can get my newsletter or, where to see my email. Because, trying to get as many people seeing your emails is key too. But two, it's like being patient now because I know all these people are now joining my list. So, that we know that it's the follow-ups that are going to happen. So I'm, down the road of all these people seeing my emails, reading these follow-ups, now is the time that they're ready to join. So I'm being patient.
I agree. I'm too quick
to work and fix
messengers. You still like with your coaches and stuff, it's all messenger chats and stuff. Like email is more just general. Hey, we have a launch.
Yeah, I mean, think like now that Fire and Flow, like now would be the time I would be doing this because Fire and Flow, like shooting off all, I mean, I know for me launches like that, like, and Lift More too. Like, I know, like, imagine being able to like have an entire, and like Jess moved away from launch parties to emails because they work so well now. So having an entire email series that of follow-ups with Lift More or Fire and Flow, information and email and packaging and pricing and having all of that where all they have to do and your current clients too. Cause I know for me with launches, like trying to reach out to DM and Facebook message every single client is so much work because you want them to like try this new program with you. And so, being able to email all these current clients, here's the new program, and like constantly be like breadcrumbing in these newsletters. It's like another source of way for them to get this information is they're not seeing it in your stories. They're seeing it through your emails because they're getting your daily email or your weekly emails. So yeah, that's kind of in my mindset shift of like, I want this to be how I reach out to my clients, not Facebook messages and DMs. And don't get me wrong, I still do it sometimes. Like it doesn't just happen overnight where they're all like, I opened my new Fit Club and because I switched from a monthly group to an ongoing group and like nobody was responding to my email. And again, this is training it's training your people how to get a hold of you. They're so used to me coming to them, and all of these years of me reaching out to them to like, but no, with Jess's business, you know that they all know they have to come to her if they want this. If they want to join you, they come to her. They fill out her forms. That's what I need. That's what I'm trying to instill in my clients right now. And that takes time.
Okay, Courtney, how are we gonna get this figured out?
You guys, it'll like so much weight will be lifted off your shoulders, and give it time. That's because like,
I know
I mean,
you said you're a couple months into it, but like, give me realistic. Like, did you sit down one day and get this knocked out, set up, and like?
oh no, like I'd like give it a day to like set up contacts. Give it a like I'd give yourself a full month to get it set up.
Okay.
But like
My
take
head is spinning.
a day. Like and like also, you know what I started doing is I started going and like once you get like one thing filled out, like I went and subscribed to a bunch of coaches' emails and like see what they're sending, see what kind of forms they look like, you know, like go to all your favorite coaches and like how do they present this information. So I did that. I filled out like a bunch of top coaches, and you just make up a fake or your personal email. I don't know, like I don't know how they're gonna know. But go figure out like what they're sending. And like I'm on Natasha's newsletter and Jess's newsletter to see what they're sending. And you know, Jess is now sending weekly motivation. So I started doing that. And she says she gets a bunch of signups from that. So, and then, you know, things you can talk about, you know, it's a way to, and then the other thing too is I know Natasha did that cookbook. So anybody who signed up so you guys can do, they call them freemiums. So I did have one back in the day, and it actually still does pretty well, where people fill out my form, get on my email list from these freemiums. So Natasha did a cookbook, and I think she gained like, I want to say something insane, like 10 to 20, like thousands of new email contact lists because of this cookbook. So imagine being able to share something for free. I know Jess now is doing those free workouts. Like there's a link they can click on and sign up for free workouts. And then she has like all the links of the free, you know, free workouts linked, where they have to give her email. So then they get onto her list, and they're now getting follow-ups from her, where, I mean, you would have probably never followed up with someone before like that. So it just leads to so many more opportunities. And I mean, I don't have as many as them, but like I have 2,500 people I send a email every day to and pretty much follow up with, because I'm sending them some type of motivation. Hey, you want to join my boot camp? So.
No, I agree. I see the value. I just need to sit down and.
Yeah. So I pulled up the prices. So for mine, the one that I use, it's for 500 to 2,500 contacts. The plus that does the automation is $70 a month. So I was like, if I could sell 2 challenge packs, I'll have this covered. But the first month they said, like, try it. I mean, obviously you're probably just getting it set up, because to be honest, it was me just setting it up the first month.
Mhm.
But they, you know, you can get your monies back if it's not something, but just, I mean, hey, you'll at least get 1 month free.
Right. And like you said, though, like that investment, like this, the amount of time that freed up for you to do other things.
Oh, you like hands down. And it feels professional, you know, like I am now, you know, link something, especially with these launches coming up, like Fire and Flow, that I'm so excited for, like being able to just link it and not have to do a single thing after that, you know, like, it's just like, oh, it's freeing. And then I spend the rest of the day, you know, I spend most of my days creating reels or doing, you know, but doing other things, you know, so creating content to bring people in. Yeah. So
You did good.
it's worth it. Anytime I've done something like this, it's like, it's worth it.
I know. And like I said, I have I've always had the form, but you said, it's just a matter of saying, like, fill out my form. I've never gotten in a good habit of doing that, but just to make a prettier form than just the Google ones, and have a spot for that. And then when they fill out the form, have an email go right to them, and not me having to go, oh, somebody filled it out, I have to go do this quick. And
And I'll say, I mean, I'm inviting all the time. So like the invites, trying to send, at least like 25 a day, that still happens. Like the inviting can't go away. So, and I know Jess still invites. So it's like the inviting can't go away, but it's how can I find more people to be able to, especially if you're having a real blow up and you have, that call to action at the bottom of it with this form linked to your bio. I mean, imagine all the forms being filled out and you don't even have to talk to a single person. And that's what's happening.
Is that what you're putting on your reels or at the bottom is a link in the bio to?
Yeah. So I usually say, I do a call to action. I've been trying to, whenever it's a transformation, my hope to go viral at the bottom, it's, because if I know that reel goes viral, I want to make sure they know to go look in my bio and fill out my form. So it's, want to join me, something along those lines, and saying access to, I always kind of say what they're going to get. So access to workouts, nutrition, and support, link in bio.
I get you.
Yeah. Bye. Okay. So hopefully this helped.
It does. And it'll almost be like I'll have to rewatch it, but I just need to go in and pick one and then start getting it set up.
Yeah.
Especially
I mean, the only way to like really
launches.
learn is get it and go with it. Yeah. And like, as soon as you sign up, like they'll ask you, do you want a consultation? So I got on a call with someone. I mean, importing contacts was super easy. You just export all of your contacts out of your back office and then import them. And that was super, like, it's all so user friendly. Like, I mean, there were some things I needed help with, and that's where it's nice. And they always do, like, I'm always like, there's a question box that you can ask questions and do like live chat with. And lately they've been like advertising webinars of like how to reach more subscribers. So as you can see, like my open rate's only 40% right now, which is okay. So only 40% of my entire contact list has actually been seeing my emails. So they are talking about like keywords that can help boost that. So they're doing like, it's cool. Like I'm actually getting training on how to do email marketing and how to use this system through them too. And it's free. So, and like they're all, I've been subscribing to a bunch and they'll send you the recording. So I don't actually have to like sit on them. And so I've just been like watching some of them as they send me the recording. So.
And like I said, I have MailChimp. I know it's old school, but that was just something I could put together quick and then ported it. But they do a couple similar things like tips for what to put in your subject title to make it more. Seeing your percentage on your insights made me feel a little bit better because mine is like 30% of people open it. I'm like, geez, that was a lot of work for just people. And then but it does take time and figuring out what buzzwords or timing or what topics people even want to see. And right now it's just, that was what I did is I uploaded all my customers and leads.
This is where I go and subscribe to a bunch of people's emails. And like, whenever I see a title that I'm like, like usually it's like, so I'm on Josh Coates, all of his emails. Anytime I see like 6 figure, so I'm like, okay, again, like what are my struggles and like, what are those keywords when I see it, if it were related to like fitness and weight loss and things like that, like, what are those keywords that I'm like, I need to see what this is about.
Tell me more.
Yeah. Or build a 6-figure business. I'm like, what? You're talking to me? So I know Andy also has like really good, like he'll always share his podcast or his recent podcast and does like a little motivation. So it's like, okay, I read those. So whatever like draws your attention, again, like I look at my email all the time and, yes, I delete a lot of things, but imagine if you were getting motivation from like your coach, how cool would that be? It's just another way to reach your clients. It's another way to reach your potentials. It's another way to reach your possible coaches. And like, I feel like I'm just getting started on like how to truly do all this, where I'm really excited for the future of like what this looks like. So that's why I'm like, do it now, because
and you kind of went cold turkey as far as leaving DMs and going right to emails, didn't you? Like it wasn't.
Well, I did, but yeah, and that's the thing. Like I feel like these past few months have been slow because I am like trying to move away. I can't abandon because I have to hit,
But
That
before
is,
setting
you
up
know,
this whole thing, did you
I'm
email
not
them?
abandoning my DMs, but it is a transition that I'm happy to make, and I'm happy to sacrifice smaller Success Club numbers a little bit. But don't get me wrong, like I'm trying to, you kind of got to do both at the beginning to, you know, like I hit Success Club first, and then I get back to working to these emails, you know, kind of thing.
I get it. So at what point, I know you've popped so many new diamonds lately, like at what point are you getting them like, you should be doing this?
I would say as soon as possible, because
So are any of your coaches doing it yet?
yes, Darcy is, she has the basic version of Constant Contact. So I would say she should be doing the plus version.
Gotcha.
Because I can imagine a lot of our working coaches who work full time. I mean, like we have a couple of girls on our team who are nurses. I mean, like, you know, they're long shifts. If someone wants information, how cool would it be to like share your link in your stories in the morning, and you get out of work after your 10-hour shift, and someone bought a chair, or
And
someone
you just have
bought a
cheer card, yeah.
backpack. Yeah. So yeah.
I get it. Now I just need a nanny for a couple days and
The import like doesn't even take long. I think it does take an hour or so to like set up at least your first like your basic information, your basic landing page of information, and like the pricing. But a lot of it, I mimicked what Jess did, tried not to recreate the wheel. And I was like, you know what, I can come back to this and like rephrase things and so, you know, I was
make it prettier. Yeah.
I was using most of her emails when we did launches anyways, you know? So I was like, yeah. So
Okay.
anytime the launches, I'm like, I go subscribe to her email. I'm like, give me more information on this one.
Exactly. Let me see how you do it. And then when it always goes to a link, it's like, okay, how do I just copy that and make it mine?
Yeah.
Put mine
So,
next.
but again, you know, I know her language is different than my language.
True.
So I'm now like, okay, how can I speak to my people more? And that's where it takes time.
Mhm.
And that's where I'm in that phase of now trying now. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at the Aweber thing that Jennifer was talking about?
No, I haven't.
Similar. I was just curious. It's like anything else where there's
I was
multiple.
gonna say, I think you can't go
Great,
wrong
but-
if you choose one. Yeah, it sounds like that one has great support too. So I'm curious how much that one's cheaper. And I was paying I was paying a lot more for my other system. This is only 70. So that was actually like, oh, okay, that's a no-brainer to switch because it was cheaper. So
Right.
yeah.
And more user friendly. That's priceless too.
Like I needed an assistant to help me create things. That's how bad it was.
See, and that's what I think that's what I've held back and been
No,
scared.
because once
I
you
need
get
an
set up,
assistant to set this up for me because I don't know what I'm doing.
once you get it set up too, it's the same, you know, like now well, especially I'm doing an ongoing fit club, but like the information that I send for boot camps, and then it's all the same. And then if it's a different program, that's when you do
Which a graphic. Yeah.
yeah, but like, yeah, and then just getting a new graphic. But I mean, and it's pretty much the same. I mean, it's the same lingo. You just change out like the description of the program, you know? So, yeah, once it's all set up, it's not bad. Yeah, it is the initial setup that takes some time.
Sounds good.
And then we can have a setting it up party for you.
You'll be my tech support going, Jenna.
No, seriously, like I'm happy to help and I don't even know if there's ways to like no, I will say learning how to do it yourself is important.
I agree.
For future, yeah, like, and that was the issue too, is I had my assistant like creating everything for me. So Jeff would like got my stuff together, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go ask him to do it, and I don't know how to do it. So like knowing how to run have an assistant, like, so my assistant now, she goes through and does those personal more follow-ups. So I am starting to have her do more of my inviting and that other stuff, to where now, you know, it's me just pushing out content and having, you know, doing some engagement here and there. So that's kind of been like my focus is like, I don't enjoy whatever I don't enjoy, I'm like trying to give to my assistant. So
Definitely. Definitely.
yeah.
Cool.
All right. Okay. Have a good day.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, you too.
We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Yeah.